Augie here. I want to explore movement meditation based off a Tai Chi form. It's not the Tai Chi form itself, but it's just components from the form as well as concepts. The two main things, though, that we want to emphasize is fluidity, transition of movement, smooth. You're always, even if you don't have the hands to the feet correct, that's the main objective, fluidity in between the transitions. The second thing is breathing, always breathing, always breathing. And maybe I don't say that, but you're always breathing, you're not tensing up during any of the movements. Okay, let's get started here. The first one is simple. You're about a little bit wider, it's about shoulder width apart. And all I want you to do is bring your hands off to the side, nice and relaxed. And you can start off with just small little breathing, 3 breaths. Breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth. In through the nose, out through the mouth. In through the nose, out through the mouth. And what I want you to do is just shift. It's still keeping your breathing. I'll say it a lot in the beginning, probably in the end, but always think about the breathing aspect. That's all it is sway. Keep on going. Let me show you from the side. And again, it's just side, side. And if you need to let the knees be soft a little bit, let the knees be soft a little bit. Okay, good. Now what you're going to do is just open it up. Again, transition between. You bend the knees slightly a little bit wider. And again, hands off, relax to your side, breathing in, breathing out. And all you're going to do is you're going to sway one side to the other side. Now be careful if you have some knee issues. You don't necessarily want to have a deep shift, or maybe you do and it can't last for very long. So whatever your body is allowing for you to do today. Okay, watch me from the side. Keep on going. Still breathing. Smooth transition. It's just side. This is all it is. I'm a little bit wider than shoulder width apart, and I'm shifting. I'm not over gripping with my toes. I'm not clenched through my hands. I'm nice and relaxed as I'm breathing through the diaphragm, in through the nose, out through the mouth. And I'm coasting from one side to the other. Keep on going. Coasting, nice and smooth, fluidity. Back and forth, back and forth. Feel, and you'll be hearing me say that quite a bit, is feel the motion. Don't think about the motion. Excellent. Okay. Now, what you can do on this next one is you're going to have to kind of play with different movements in terms of, not different movements, but different width based on how tall you are as well. Mine tends to be in the same spot, a little bit wider and shoulder width apart, but I may adjust the shiftness. Keeping the breathing at the same time. Here's all you're going to do is you're going to do a little figure 8 now, okay, with your body. So as I shift to one side, I'll turn my hips just ever so slightly, and I'll sway back and forth. Shift, and a figure 8. Don't overthink it. I can see people overthinking it right now. I'm just swaying. Think about swaying with the wind. Forward and back, side to side, and a little figure 8. I'm going to show you from the side. Keep on going to help you out. It's just ever so subtle. I turn a little bit, and it's a very tiny figure 8. It's not a huge figure 8. And again, fluidity. I'm breathing as I'm swaying. And you notice that we're getting longer and longer in these. We will build upon each other, each other being movement by movement, repetition, repetition, feeling, feeling, breathing, breathing, fluidity, fluidity, transition, transition. Nice and relaxed, nice and relaxed. And like I said, I'm making adjustments already with my feet a little bit. As I flow, figure 8, small, tiny figure 8. Turn the hips, turn the shoulders, turn the hips together. Nice and smooth, nice transition. Keep on going. As we sway back, figure 8, nice and easy. And again, your knees can stay straight while we're doing this. It's not a hip only, it's a figure 8 of the whole body. So the knees got to be unlocked at the very least. Could be bend down here, shift your weight back on the heels so it doesn't go into the knees. And we're shifting our weight onto one foot, back onto the other foot, but the feet are still both grounded. We're not coming up on a single leg. Figuring eight. Still breathing, fluidity, flow in the transition when you change from one direction to the other direction. Very good. Straighten up a little bit. Okay, the next one is going to be same positioning for me. I'm going to be a little about shoulder width apart, and again, you can adjust accordingly throughout this this sequence. Okay, what I'm going to be doing is now, and if the hands are a distraction, you can put them behind your back, and all I'm doing is just small little relaxed lacing them together. This might help you to see. So let me show you first real quick. I'm going to shift back. I'm going to open up one foot, pivot on my heel, and then I'm just going to shift forward. And then I'll come back onto my rear foot, pivot back in, shift weight back to the foot that I just opened up, open up the new one, and go forward. Okay, let me show you from the side. You can try it now with me. With the side here, I'm going to go towards you so you can mirror me. I'm going to shift onto my right, pivot my left, rotate forward, shift forward, come back, pivot on my left, put the foot back right where it was, shift back onto my left, pivot on my right, and then shift forward. Now again, I'm talking in opposite directions, so I want you to try to get this down, shift, pivot, shift forward, shift back, pivot, shift on to the one you just pivoted, pivot, new foot, shift forward. Feel the movement. Feel the movement, feel the transition, stay at one level, try not to bob up and down, remember to breathe, don't overthink it, say my foot is wrong, I don't know where I'm going, what I'm doing, how I'm doing it. The idea is fluidity. Okay, now granted, we want to keep on going, we want to get to, so the actual choreograph, if you will, has a nice flowing movement to it. But again, the idea is just shift, you'll find your rhythm. And again, as you pivot, keep on going, you may be pivoting wider and wider and wider. Go ahead and slightly, smoothly readjust your foot positions if necessary. Try not to stop the fluidity of movement. If you're gonna adjust with fluidity. My body stays nice and tall through the crown of my head. I'm breathing, shifting to one side, shifting to the other side. I pivot on my heel by bringing my toes up off the ground. Again, everybody's gonna learn a little different, and some people need to actually see a mirror or they need direction. How about we just look at it in the respect of feeling the movement? If you walk, if you bike, if you ski, if you paddle, whatever sport outdoors that you do, after you do it enough times, it becomes repetition. The body learns the movement, and this is what I want you to do. I want you to learn fluidity, not necessarily the choreography, if that makes sense. Flowing forward. Try not to put too much weight over the front knee. If you notice, I'm still staying centered as I lean forward. And again, I'm placing the hands out of it so it's less of a distraction. Shifting, and then leaning forward. Breathe into it. If you need to straighten the legs a little bit more, straighten the legs a little bit more. Shift, pivot, and then come back to center. However you're going to come back to center, both feet pointing forward, straighten the legs. Very good. Now, we're going to come back to that. I want to start to involve the hands a little bit. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do is just work on transition and fluidity with our legs and our hands. So essentially what I want you to do is I want you to think about closing a window, a stiff window, an old window that won't pull down as easily. maybe at your grandma's house or whatnot. And then I want you to open up that window at the same time. So that's gonna be the motion of your hands and your arms. Now we're gonna add the knees to it, but the timing is gonna be slightly off. And this is what I want you to feel. So watch here first. I'm gonna do it from both sides first so you can see. I'm gonna come up, and then I'm gonna come down. Notice the hands still move, the knees will stop. I'll come up, I'll dip down a little bit further, I'll come up, and then I'll come down. Transitions, I could dip down a little bit, I'll come up. Notice there's a little kind of circular pattern, both up and down as I come down. Don't worry about that too much, work into that. Just think about fluidity and that there's timing, meaning that just because the legs are straightened, that doesn't necessarily mean my hands stop. Okay, maybe they go a couple more inches further, okay? Relatively, I don't want to get too in depth with timing. I just want you to, again, flow, make a transition. I drop a little bit further and I lift up, okay? I'll circle around and then I pull down. See, now my knees are starting to bend, and then I dip down a little bit further as I circle. I lift them up, my legs are straight, but my arms are still rising. So it's, again, more of a timing thing. Think about fluidity, change of direction, and then once you feel like you have that transition down or that fluidity down in terms of repetition, now start to find out and identify the timing behind it. Let me show you from the side. Keep on going. We sink down, and then I sweep up. And everybody's a little different in terms of seeing the side view or the front view. Sweep up, come up, pushing up, pull that. And then I sweep down. And again, there's movement within the arms and the legs together, but they're not necessarily at the same time. Now, I will tell you as kind of a little caveat is if you have to do, it's not really a caveat, I should say, but if you have to do the same timing at the same time with the legs and the hand, fine. Again, fluidity and smooth transition. Transition here, smooth, and I'm flowing up, and then I'm sinking down. Now, once again, breathing. Can't forget that concept. That is from the start to finish, and everything that you're doing, you're centering yourself, relaxing the body, using your diaphragm to breathe, then taking the energy from the breath and extending them through your movement as we bring it all the way down. Legs stay straight, hands come down, and relax. Very good. Now, all right, we're going to continue with the arms and adding a little bit more of the body along with it. Let me show you from the side, essentially what we're going to start off with. So think of it as you're forming a T. I'm going to show it forward, like you're forming an L, heel to heel, if you will. And it just steps out a little bit further than shoulder width apart, okay? Again, adjust accordingly to what you feel is comfortable for your body. What I'm going to do is I'm going to be kind of mirror image of you, so we're going to go left foot forward, left arm perched out as if you were to rest a bird on here. Think of it like that. Okay, what's going to happen is I'm going to slightly bend both knees, just a nice little give in there. I'm going to reach back for something in my pocket or a sword if you're in kind of the martial art concept. And I'm going to shift my body forward and I'm going to bring my arm up to the side so a bird can rest on it. So we're going to work on that fluidity. I'm going to come back, reach, and I'm going to travel forward. There we go. I'm going to come pull back, and then I'm going to reach forward. And again, the same idea here is fluidity and breathing. Don't so worry about, well, is my arm up at the collarbone level or is it at my shoulder level? Just bring it forward. Think of it like that, okay? Feel the movement, reaching back, feel the movement going forward. Again, I got some soft knee bends in here, so I'll travel forward. And you notice that there's a slight different timing with the arm and the legs, because the legs and the hips will have to travel less, the arm has to travel further. So there's a little bit of timing. taking us back to the original example of flowing up, closing that window and opening that window. Okay, flow into it. Let me show one more and then we'll show you from the side. Keep on going. Keep on going. So I have it here, and then I'll draw back, grab something, and then I'll pull it forward so a bird can rest on my arm. I'll draw it back, fluidity, and then smooth transition. Don't make it choppy, make it a nice little change of direction. You can throw a breath in there too to help with the transition, but we're always still breathing. All right, breathing forward, shifting forward, staying tall, staying upright, and reaching forward. Keep on going. We're going to do 2 more. Reaching out, no designated number on here, just trying to find the element of fluidity as I shift in each transition and going forward. Okay? Now from here, just change directions, or excuse me, sides. Right here, now again, mirror image, I have my my right forward and my right arm perched up so a bird can rest on it. So, and you can see me from the side, I'm about a little bit wider and shoulder width apart. Okay, we'll start where we finished on the other side. So I'm bringing it back, grab, and then I'm pulling it forward. Again, try to work on the fluidity, the breathing, put those two in sync together. And breathing is fluid, so the motion should be equally fluid. And as I mentioned before here, don't worry about the choreography necessarily, but worry about kind of the fluidity going forward. I'm not going back too far, not going too far forward. Work on that transition, make sure it's nice and smooth, it's not choppy, choppy, choppy. And once you get that down, after you have that feeling, that repetition down, where you can just feel it flow back and then you can feel it flow forward, then work on the timing of how fast my arm is moving, how fast my hips and my feet are going forward. And relax into this. Again, the whole idea here is this movement meditation is to take your mind out of everything and feel what you're doing. And at the very least, if you say, I don't understand where my arms or my feet are, that is okay. Just do the breathing. That in itself will have an enormous impact. Keep on going, keep on going. I'm going to show you from the side. As I draw back, and then I reach forward. Breathe into it. I draw back, and then I breathe into it. Again, nice and tall, trying to travel to the best of your ability. You're trying to travel on the same level, meaning that there's no bobbing up and down as much. You're going to get a little bit of that because you're going to reach back and try to reach for something, but it shouldn't be disrupting your fluidity. It shouldn't be disrupting your transition, and it definitely should not be disrupting your breathing as I flow out. And then I flow back. I flow out, and I flow back. Very good. 3 left. 3 sounds like a good even number in my mind. As we flow, and we go forward. Last one here, we go back, and then we go forward. Very nice. Okay. Now, let's put a little bit more together. I'm going to show you from the side here so you can see it, and I'll quickly show you from the front so you get both angles for those who learn differently. So now what we're going to do is I have my left forward, my left arm perched out, okay, just what we did in terms of our drill. I'm gonna reach back. When I reach back, I'm gonna bring my right hand, I'm gonna kind of cross, if you will. Okay, and this is where this bird perched on here comes into play. So I'm gonna take my right and I'm gonna stroke the bird's feathers. So watch here first. So I've shifted back, which we already know. I'm bringing the other hand forward and I stroke the feathers. Come back, smooth transition, cross with the arms, and then stroke the feathers. See See how that works? Okay, try it. I'm gonna show you from the side, from the front point of view. So I'm reaching back, cross, my other hand reaches forward, and then I stroke the feathers, come back, smooth. Again, we already know how to do this movement. We're just adding one more element, not 5 elements, just one, because we've already done the pattern before, okay? And it just reaches up to the top of the bird where it's on the part on my arm, and I stroke the feathers as I brush it across my forearm. Okay, keep on going. I'm gonna show you from the side, it's probably a little bit better view. Shift, nice and smooth, and then forward, nice and smooth. Transition, fluidity, nice and cross, forward and smooth. That's what we're trying to do here. Stay nice and tall. Don't forget about that breathing. Stroke. The hand will end up, the hand being the right hand, will end up near my hip. Remember, I'm a mirror image of you, so that's why I say opposite. Okay, smooth transition. Very nice. Keep on going. I'm going to show you from the front. Keep on going. Okay. Nice. Breathe. Now work on that transition. Work on that cross. Work on that fluidity. Just like opening the window, closing the window. I sway back. I reach back. I cross my arm. Smooth. Stroke the feathers as we come back. Breathing. Bring it back, and then fluidity going forward. Very nice. Keep on going. Stay tall. Don't overthink it. If you have to stand up a little bit straighter because the knees are not liking you, go ahead and do that. Shift accordingly. Shift your weight back. Feel the movement. Don't think about the movement. Feel the movement. Again, we've already done this pattern, and you're just adding one more element to the fluidity. Adding one more element to the transition. And nice and smooth. Very nice. One more. Shifting back. Make it a good one. Make it look like the very first one, which hopefully was perfect. And back. Very nice. Okay, let's do the other side now. Remember, I'm mirror image of you. So I have my right forward. I have my right arm perched as if a bird is resting on it. Now you know where that analogy comes. So again, as I reach back with that, my left hand reaches over, and then I cross. I shift back, and I cross. Smooth transition. Let me show you from the side. Keep on going. Show you from the front view. Also, I am shifting, and I'll come back, and I cross. Breathe into it. Reach up and around, and then I cross. Again, stroking the bird, smooth transition, coming back, and I stroke going forward. Very nice. Keep it going. Don't get too fast. You notice I'm talking a little fast just because I'm getting really excited about the movement. It's just what I do sometimes. Kind of defeats the purpose of the meditation-esque. So nice, smooth transition, breathing. And feel the movement. Remember, you've added that one component, and adding that one component, you're feeling it, okay? If the other ones need a little touch-up, go ahead and feel that touch-up where it needs to be done. Don't think about that one thing because it's gonna make everything else. You're gonna forget about, typically people forget about everything else. You just work on the one thing that they're thinking about. Keep on going. Again, I'm gonna show you, go back to the side here. Cross, breathe into it. Shift, smooth transitions. Breathe into it. Relax, stay nice and tall. Shift your weight back. We did this in the beginning, shifting our weight back and forth. Breathe. Shift back, cross the arms, stroke the feathers of the bird. Keep that arm nice and tall so the bird can rest upon it. That's what I'm feeling. So I shift, smooth, breathe. I can't say that enough as you transition in a smooth transition, and then when you shift back and the arms move, they're fluid. There's no break in them. just like a stick that is hanging from your arm and you're swinging it back and forth, nice and smooth back and forth. Coming back, cross, shifting. Coming back, cross, shifting. Very nice, keep on going. Last two. Back, cross, and last one, cross, and stroke tail. Very nice. All right, now, one last thing. We're gonna try to shift left and right, or right and left, however you're viewing this, okay? Now, most people throw in the towel here, okay? You are not gonna throw in the towel because it's everything that we've learned. Starting from the very beginning, we said two important things. One is the fluidity. Everything is flowing. Two is the breathing. If you concentrate on that, whether the hands are in the right spot, if the feet are in the right spot, or the timing's off, it doesn't matter, because that is the hardest thing outside of the choreography, okay? We've just built on, in this session, the choreography that was necessary. So here's what we're gonna do. Watch first. All right. I end up, and you'll see my feet kind of shift a little bit, because what I'll do is I'll end up finding out my position after I do a left and a right, okay? So what's gonna happen is basically, all I'm gonna do is shift to one side, open up, cross, and shift. Shift back, cross my arms, rotate the other side, and stroke the bird's tail. Okay, one more time from this position. Let me show you from here. Okay, come back, rotate, shift forward. I will turn, rotate the feet, shift back, turn the trot across the arms, stroke the bird's tail. Right? Don't overthink it. It's like, oh my gosh, I'm going different. I don't know which way I'm going. Again, it's just putting the patterns together. And if anything, if it's not exactly what I'm doing, just turn in one direction, however you want to turn, but do it fluidly. And then the transition, when you change the other, it's a smooth transition. That's really what we're trying to achieve here. Okay, getting into the depths of what am I actually doing in the martial art concept is not important. It's the centering yourself. The thing that's going to be available for you first thing in the morning, afternoon, right before you go to bed, is to relax, okay? All right, let's try. I'm going to go to a mirror image. I'm going to go to my mirror left, okay? So that's how I'm going to start if you want to follow me a little bit in terms. But really, I encourage you just to try to flow first, okay? Here we go. A little shift, rotate, and again, you'll see my hands and feet move just a little bit more as I shift, because I'm trying to find the right spot. And then I may readjust, because if I pivot, continue to pivot on my heels, I may move further and further away. Turn and flow. Rotate, pivot, stay nice and tall, still breathing. I'm shifting to the other side. And then I'm stroking the tail. Again, don't worry about the choreography. Worry about just putting patterns together, breathing, flow. Okay, this is not an exercise in frustration. This is an exercise in movement. And then taking that movement and letting it relax you. Especially if you're like me, you can't stand still and need to do a little bit of this to kind of help calm the nerves and to shut my brain off. Not everybody does this. Some people like it, kind of a mindful meditation where you are just relaxed. That's okay too. Everybody's a little different. Keep on going. I'm going to show you from the front side here. Keep on going. Notice how I just changed to that front side. It's a nice smooth transition. Back. Smooth, nice and tall. Breathing. starting to get this, work on the timing. Hands will travel a little bit faster. When I say faster, it's not super fast. And then the feet. And then maybe the hands are stationary for just a split second as the feet are trying to shift, as you can see here. Okay, my hands will be in freeze frame, if you will, for like a second. And then they start to move again. Okay, then I throw my body into it just a little bit. If it's too much, back off, please. Again, fluidity as I shift back and forth. Breathe into it. Let's take about 30 seconds on your own. Silence for yourself. Okay, silence for yourself is blocking out everything other than feeling what you're doing. If you don't want to do that because you think about it, then I want you just to breathe as you move and shift back to back. Whatever it looks like does not matter. Keep on going. I'm gonna go one more in each direction. Smooth, breathe. Very nice. And I'm going to center you just like a smooth transition. There's no one way or wrong or right way about that. So I am Augie. That is our movement meditation for right now. And we'll have some more. We'll see you hopefully next time.